Okay guys, we're back inside of Helldivers 2 and we have got some incredible rumours making its way around the circuit. As we thought that some stuff was just starting to fade out for Helldivers 2, it seems that it's only just got started. And yes, it involves a big green X. This one's going to send you wild. Nonetheless, we're going to take a look at that and we're going to look at the major order at the moment, as the major order does seem to be looking a little bit bleak to say the least on a 6-day order with 3 days remaining. Shams Georgiani said something on Twitter that may lead to a few people being a bit confused, and we've got some Reddit posts to talk about certain Stratagem. This one's going to be an interesting one indeed. But if you haven't already, smash that beautiful blue thumbs up and subscribe with post notifications turned on. On top of that, check out our sponsor Instant Gaming, the platform where you can buy your video games cheaper for PC, consoles, and they have the best deals, offers, promotions, and discounts when it comes to purchasing your games a little bit cheaper, running up to 70% off. I don't know what you're waiting for. Head down to the description, click the link, and get your games a little cheaper today. That being said though, let's see what's going on. So, Gamer Ranks has actually posted up an article which has some ridiculous rumours posted around it, but it actually seems like it may be coming into fruition, as in the latest episode of Mr. Boomstick XL's X-Vlog Live, which is a live YouTube podcast, he had a incredible rumour that would talk about Helldivers 2 coming to Game Pass this month. Yes, this month. At the end of July, they're talking about this one actually coming through. Now, this has been backed up by a lot of other YouTubers, influencers such as Kay Asante, Hargeet Shani, and Paris Lily, as well as C Money himself, who's the co-host for the live YouTube podcast. This is absolutely incredible, as he goes on to state right here, word for word, is going to break the internet. It's going to break bats like Batman and Bane. Boomstick shared a clue, but worded it in such a way that if you don't know what the rumor is, you wouldn't get it. Now, it's absolutely hilarious because he actually states here in the clues that were dropped that Boomstick referred to it as being the biggest game this year, arriving the last game added in Game Pass this month. This game is also playable now on PC and PlayStation, and now some of you might think that the game being mentioned could be Stellar Blade, while Shift Up recently had a successful IPO of the back of Stellar Blade's success. There's actually a more obvious possibility. And it goes on to state here in this article, as it was reported last April, Nick Baker claimed in an episode of the Xbox Era podcast that preliminary discussions started about bringing Helldivers 2 to Xbox. There have been no rumors about Stellar Blade or other PlayStation 5 exclusives coming to Xbox. This one could be absolutely huge, although in the back of my mind, I keep looking at the main possibility for Sony. This is obviously going to bring in a lot more players. It's going to bring in a massive set of eyes to the game, and is going to bring them a lot of money, correct. What it will do though is obviously cause a bit of confusion at this point in time before the game actually does make its way to the big green X, as what we're actually going to see is the problem with PC at the moment is that you have to kind of be able to link your PlayStation account to it, which is where the main Xbox region locks came from. Now, they have made it so that you don't have to require the PlayStation linking, but it is still quite big on the region locking because of Sony being Sony. We see that absolutely all the time, absolutely everywhere. It's frustrating beyond belief. But how is it that they're going to work it if it manages to hit the store of Xbox Game Pass? Does that mean that then you won't have to link your account up? There will be no option to link your account up. Therefore, the region lock may be released. We'll have to wait and see. But this is a massive discussion that's going around at the moment, and one that I want your guys' opinions on. So get down into the comment section and start rambling around about this one. I want to see what you guys are thinking and how you think this one may take its shape if it does actually formalitate. Next up though, Shams Georgiani has been speaking to somebody on Twitter, and this one was an interesting conversation to say the least. Obviously, there's a movement for the review bomb cape. This happened a couple of days ago when people were talking about it, and he said that there was nothing yet on the table for the review bomb cape and when it's actually going to be coming, so that's a disappointing factor to say the least. I am bloody gutted. But somebody else put, is that there any news on looking at the AI spawning mechanics getting out of hand with bots? It's almost impossible to play against them at the moment. Now, Shams was a bit confused. He states, what difficulty? I play on 6 and 7 and it works fine. What's the issue with spawning exactly? Somebody else states, I think the issue is mostly with 8 and 9. Too many small enemies are swarming Helldivers right now, which can be quite overwhelming. Now, I don't know if that's quite the truth with bots and what's happening there and the issue behind it, but we'll leave that down to interpretation for you guys. And he states, I don't know if it's spawning issue versus design as intended. Maybe change in tactics and loadout is needed. So he pretty much just said, get good. Change it. It's a skill issue. And this was hilarious as a response, although I'm not too sure I do agree on his narrative overall. I think that you can play 6 and 7. It'd be relatively challenging and quite a good amount of time spent inside each operation. 8 and 9 for me, especially on bots, is borderline just pointless. I am not a bot fighter at all. I do my part when it comes to the major orders, but it is just not as enjoyable as the skill level required is so high up there that realistically, unless you are playing this all day, every day, you're going to have a few bloody problems with 8 and 9, especially 9 included. So let me know what you guys are thinking when it comes to the bots and whether you think that the spawns are causing some problems. As well, on top of that though, the community seem to be putting their foot down as Hellmire has just recently come out of its defense campaign, and it seemed that not a lot of people were that bloody bothered about it. I don't think anybody's going to be touching Hellmire for a little while, as this one seems to be the most hated planet on the solar system right now, and most people are kind of wishing that that was the planet that got it instead of Meridia. That's all I'm going to state on the matter, but nonetheless, we are going to take a look at the 500 kilogram, because apparently the 500 kg, the one missile which should probably cause the most amount of damage and cause the biggest kaboom in the game, it should be, it's kind of worded that way, it doesn't seem to be working as intended, and it seems like Arrowhead actually know that, as we were receiving free 500Ks for a little bit just recently. Now this Reddit post here goes on to state so that the 500K is kind of busted. Guessing they added the free Eagle 500 today because they're troubleshooting it. I hope so, because I was dropping 500s on bot patrols, literally hitting them in the head and getting 2 to 4 out of 10 kills. And I picked the Asir Pass out wherever so it would be mostly open and semi-flat areas. Not a great look. And to back this one up, we had this post right here that received nearly 6,000 upvotes, so a lot of people agree on this, but it says, baffling to me how people still defend the 500. I'd already hit it with a precision as well, and we're going to get into that one in a second, but as you can see, the 500 really did nothing to that factory strider, and it just came out of the woodworks with a massive hello and I'm coming for you now, and that's just kind of how it operated. I don't know if it's the way that the bugs are operating versus the bots, the way that they operate and the damage outputs that can be kind of considered for that one, or if it's the 500k itself. I think the 500k works quite well on bot bugs, and I don't really seem to have much of an issue. But when we are talking about stratagems that are a little bit broken, this one right here is it's an interesting one to say the least. When we take a look at this is the orbital precision strike. Now we know that that little arrow is slightly off on the main graphic of this precision strike, but I don't know if that's what this is meant to mean. He threw the precision strike down and it actually did not hit very precisely at all, and this was obviously going to cause him a few problems because the charger is now going to come beelining for him. I find this one a bit of an interesting one and something that I am actually having issues with myself. So is this something that you guys are having problems with, or are there different stratagems that you find a little bit more ridiculous and more of an issue than the 500k and the precision airstrike? Let me know via the comment section below, but overall I think there are a few tweaks that we can make towards that one. We need the 500k to be the big daddy. It just seems to be the case, doesn't it? It's the biggest thing in the game so far, bar the mini nuke, which hopefully will make its way through to the game eventually, but it's the biggest thing in the game so far. Let me know what you guys are thinking via the comment section below. Thank you so much again for watching, guys. I've taken 24 hours off just to reset the pistons and get everything reworking on the engine again, and we are back with full force. We've got the live streams going up tomorrow and videos going up as per usual. Thanks again for watching, guys. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, appreciate your faces, and I'll see you in the clouds.